Kletz, who is playing... He's got some Planeswalkers. He's playing a bug deck. You see 3 copies of Deathrite Shaman, 4 Jace the Mind Sculptor, 3 Liliana Veil, 1 Garrett Relentless. So he is playing a pretty old school bug deck with Life from the Loam and an engine based around that. Pernicious Deed, Thoughtseize, Forceful, Brainstorm, and Abrupt Decay. So this is a very different bug deck with very few creatures and is actually Planeswalker based.
Yeah, I believe we're calling it bug control here on the camera, but some people have also been referring to it as bug walkers, bug planeswalkers. And then on the right, you see Justin Geary. He's got the kind of last iteration, Esper Stoneblade, no Deathrite Shamans, no splash of green.
This is a deck that Esper Stoneblade, Tom Martell, biggest fan of this deck ever. Vidianta Wajaya won the Grand Prix in Denver, the Legacy Grand Prix at the beginning of the year with this deck. This is a Legacy mainstay if we've ever seen one.
Yeah, and Tom won the GP, was that in Indianapolis?
Indianapolis, yep.
So a deck with a very good pedigree, and the evolution of it, the Esper Deathblade, is a very distinct archetype.
Yeah.
The Deathrite Shaman, the boogeyman of the Legacy format for Cedric Phillips.
There are other people out there who feel the same way as me, I swear it.
Yeah, in fact, on Twitter, Feline Longmore, Legacy champion in Seattle with High Tide, was complaining about the Deathrite Shaman randomly being a 1-2. I think she was complaining about the second point of toughness.
Maybe it's just a Seattle thing. Maybe we just don't like it up in the Pacific Northwest.
Maybe it is.
That means it's going to wear off on you, though, because you're in Portland now.
Okay.
So we'll send it downstream just for you.
That's fine by me. I will continue to hate on Emrakul, the Tentacles Torn. All right, so let's catch up on the action here. We've got a Deathrite Shaman for Michael. Meanwhile, Justin is brainstorming here. Brainstorms during Michael's end step. Now untaps, draws. And what's he going to do? We're going to have a Stoneforge Mystic here. Justin Geary with an island, plains. Now he has a swamp. He has all 3 of his basic lands. Geist of St. Traft. Okay.
You want to talk about the boogeyman?
The boogeyman in Standard.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
used to be. Yeah, more of a boogeyman in Modern, and starting to see some play here in Legacy as well. Mostly in the sideboards of decks to be able to get an edge in the Esper mirrors. But now you see, as Kletz is going to attempt to resolve a Brainstorm, where it forces the hand of a bug control deck immediately. Now, Kletz does have 3 copies of Liliana Veil to be able to take care of this card, but if he doesn't have it right away, he's in for a world of trouble.
And we are joining the action here in Game 2 with Michael up 1-0. Is there anything in his sideboard that he might have brought in to deal with something like a Geist of St. Traft?
You take a look here. As far as cards that do cover that problem, 1 Damnation is one way to clear it out of the way. Vendilion Clique is an interesting way to go about trading with it. 3 Tarmogoyfs can certainly stand tall and get in the way of the thing. But that's really about it. You know, you're not going to find a card like Diabolic Edict or Innocent Blood, which you see some play in Legacy. The rest of the cards in Kletz's sideboard are, he has a Singleton Raven's Crime, a Duress, 2 Surgical Extractions, a Nihil Spellbound, a Dark Blast, a Blue Elemental Blast, a Crozen Grip, which Kletz has in his hand, a Maelstrom Pulse, and a Singleton Notion Thief.
The Singleton Notion Thief, is that kind of becoming the mascot of Legacy players?
Yeah.
Like, might as well use one of my slots for that because of the amazing stories it can lead to?
Yeah, I think everyone wants to get each other with a Notion Thief. I think everyone wants a story to be able to tell their friends and take home with them from the tournament. And you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it, honestly. Because you know what? You can't Notion Thief me when I'm playing Goblins. So keep playing them. I don't care. That's fun.
So notably here, Michael on his turn off of his Brainstorm found a Mishra's Factory, which may force that Geist of St. Traft to stay back. On his turn, Justin untaps and casts a Stoneforge Mystic, getting a Batterskull. So we'll see if the Geist of St. Traft stays at home.
If you guys are wondering about this deck list that Michael Kletz is playing, Ruben Bressler in the sideboard had just finished up doing a deck tech with him, so that will be ready to go in a round or 2 for you guys. So if you're interested in this bug control deck, which was a Legacy deck kind of in the beginning of Legacy. It used to be a bug standstill deck, but people realized that just the Mind Sculptor, just a smidge better than standstill.
Okay, so what do you think about that play there? Well, or non-play, I guess. Justin not attacking with his Geist of St. Traft into the Mishra's Factory. The Mishra's Factory was summoning 6, so he would not have been able to pump that to a 3/3. Was it worth it to attack and just trade for one of his lands and get 4 damage in?
Yeah,
or...
I don't think it is worth it to trade for one of his lands and get the damage in, because then your Geist of St. Traft is acting like a Stone Rain that deals 4 points of damage, which is sweet and everything. But I think that we can do better with Geist of St. Traft. As Abrupt Decay is going to target this Stoneforge Mystic, Geary is going to put in a Batter Skull. But Kletz is not doing this on accident, my friends.
No, he had to have set this up so that he could do something here to that Batter Skull.
And that something, Riki, is about to be a Crozen Grip, which does have split second. And for some of you guys might be new to the split second mechanic and keyword that is on Crozen Grip. And so basically what that is split second, destroy target artifact or enchantment, 3 mana, you cannot respond, get that thing out of my house, you can't counter it, you can't bounce it back to your hand, there's nothing that you can do, your Batter Skull is dead.
Super relevant here because Batter Skull has the activated ability to pay 3 mana to return it to your hand to reset the germ usually, but sometimes to protect it from removal, and Split Second cannot respond to that, cannot activate the Batter Skull, cannot go brainstorming for a Force of Will, can't cast Force of Will if you have it in your hand.
And Kletz is kind of sitting here going, you can't respond, so we'll go ahead and put that in the graveyard.
Yeah.
You know, you see Geary was kind of...
Can't do anything.
Yeah, Geary was kind of frustrated, or maybe considering using the counterspell in his hand, but he can't do anything in response to Split Second. That's why it's powerful. And that's also the reason that Crozen Grip costs 1 more mana than Naturalize, because you're paying an extra mana for the Split Second on the card.
Well worth it right there.
Yeah.
Crozen Grip, a card that usually sees play, well, in the past has seen play to deal with counterbalance.
Yep.
That card, not so prevalent in Legacy anymore.
Good riddance.
Yeah. Okay, and we see that Justin did have a counterspell in his hand, so he may have been thinking about the counterspell or activating the Batter Skull. Can't do either in response to Crozen Grip.
So Geary does draw a card, has a Jason Mind Sculptor of his own, so I think now's a pretty good time to cast that. But Deathrite Shaman, gonna go active.
What is he gonna do here?
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So Spell Pierce, I'm gonna counter that. Makes me wonder if Geary has a land in his hand, but here comes the Geist of St. Traft and the Angel Token. Now the coast is clear because Mishra's Factory can't get active. So does get in 6 points of damage and is gonna pass the turn back to Kletz. So let's see what Michael can do.
And that Spell Pierce was so out of left field because yes, he did have a Deathrite Shaman active, but you don't think of it as, you know, being able to generate blue mana. Obviously it can, but you don't look at it that way, so you're not thinking about the possibility of a Spell Pierce right there.
And so that land that just came into play,
it's a Cabal Pit.
That is a Cabal Pit. That's exactly what that is. And that's on the screen for you. That's an Odyssey uncommon. You have to take 1 to use it. Normally in this land cycle, you see Cephala Coliseum.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see a Barbarian Ring.
Okay,
you don't ever see in the Nomad Stadium. That's the gain 4 life one when you have Threshold. Rarely. Sometimes you see that in the land stacks, but it's rare nowadays. You rarely see
Centaur Garden.
Centaur Garden.
I'm all over this.
Yeah,
cycle.
which is the +3/+3 when you have Threshold. And I think the one that you see the least is the one that's in play is Cabal Pit.
I have never seen this. Wow. So Michael Kletz, we're gonna see this deck tech later. Ruben Bressler, I'm sure, is gonna ask him what is going on with Cabal Pit.
Yeah, I would like an explanation myself. I know it works out pretty well with the 2 life norms that he has in his main deck as a reusable removal spell, but there is some cost there, my friends, because every time you tap that for a mana, you take 1.
And he also cast a Pernicious Deed, and he's going to blow that Pernicious Deed for 3 to get rid of the Geist of St. Traft in Justin's combat step. Unfortunately, also loses his own Deathrite Shaman, does Michael.
Seems like he's okay with that trade, though. I don't think he would have played the Pernicious Deed if he wasn't okay with making that trade. Now Mishra's Factory is going to stand tall. And if you see in Kletz's hand, he does have a copy of Jason the Mind Sculptor. and it looks like it might be time to cast that, and it looks like he might do it with the Cabal Pit, but maybe not. Doesn't want to take one.
It's Jace time.
For a Blue Mage, it's the best time. Because Jace is resolved, and he is brainstorming. You see Damnation in his hand. Yeah, you beat me to it. He does have a Damnation that actually could have cleared up that guy's insane draft as well, but going to put back 2 cards. And we'll see if he's decided he wants to attack or not.
He does, so he's going to take another point of damage from the Cabal Pit's mana ability. This whole cycle is essentially pain lands for the single color.
So Swords is going to take care of that, but I actually think that Michael Kletz is okay with that because he's going to go back up to 12 life. So he's going to gain a little bit of life and get the Swords of Plowshares out of Justin Geary's hand, leaving Justin Geary with just a Detention Sphere, but he's going to activate Academy Ruins, put it on top, put back Batterskull on top of the deck, and now be able to actually cast Batterskull. But how about a Detention Sphere on Jace first?
Yeah, let's clear that up, because if you go with the Batterskull first, the Jace the Mind Sculptor is just going to unsummon that Germ token, and you haven't really gotten it yourself anywhere.
So here's an Abrupt Decay.
Oh, wow. The back and forth here.
So Abrupt Decay takes out Detention Sphere. Jace the Mind Sculptor is back and brainstorming again.
So now Justin, only 1 card in hand, he's going to be forced to commit that Batterskull. And we know where that line of play is going to lead. It's not a very happy place. Unless his draw steps yield something useful, he's going to have to just go with that and try to absorb all of Jace's loyalty counters here.
Yeah, I really thought the Detention Sphere was going to turn the game around there for Kletz because we didn't see what he put back with his Brainstorm. But boy, were we wrong. And now he has a Liliana the Veil too, so now he can make Geary, discard the Batterskull. He discards his own Damnation, and now he's got the Planeswalker Supremacy. And the funny thing about this deck is, again, this isn't a big Legacy deck, but it did see some play around Grand Prix Columbus time a couple of years ago. The thing that was kind of unique about this deck is the interaction between the Planeswalkers and Pernicious Deed. How Pernicious Deed doesn't kill the Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
Pernicious Deed, a fantastic card, this awesome match removal effect for black and green mages, your Golgari mages, but it was made before Planeswalkers were even in existence, and so that's why it doesn't kill those.
Yeah, in the updated version, Gaze of Granite does deal with Planeswalkers. This is all non-land permanents. So they updated it there, but they're not going to go back and change the old cards.
No, I don't think so. And now, Geary is at the mercy of Jace the Mind Sculptor. This isn't the first time we've seen this. As Jace is going to tick on up, it's going to Fate Seal Justin Geary. Take a look. Liliana can keep going up if Kletz would like it to, or you can just keep representing that Edict effect. But up we are going to go. So Gary's going to sacrifice his fetch land, clear the top of his deck there from the Jace the Mind Sculptor Fate Seal, and hope the top deck's something fantastic, but I don't know what it can be.
I mean, his best draw here is Jace the Mind Sculptor of his own. He's got to deal with that first. I guess if he has more Detention Spheres as well, that could be a thing.
Lingering Souls doesn't seem like the worst draw either, to be fair.
Lingering Souls, I mean, Jace could just unsummon one, Liliana could Edict the other way, so it buys some times, it eats up some loyalty counters, but doesn't really... If you flash it back, you'll have some tokens, so yes, okay, Lingering Souls doesn't really turn it, but it keeps him in the game, I would say.
Alright, so Geary passes the turn back. He picked the Batterskull back up, and he actually has a Vendilion Click in his hand for his draw step. So, Vendilion Click can make things a little bit interesting. Jace the Mind Sculptor is the card that Kletz looked at, and that's going to go to the bottom.
He needed that card. So now Michael is going to tick up Liliana. Justin's going to discard that Batterskull now, right?
Yep. I think he has to. Again, he has Academy Ruins too, so...
Now, end of turn. Vendilion Clique.
Kletz shows Geary a Liliana of the Veil. I think you just let him keep it.
Well, okay. You've got a 3/1 flash now, flyer. What are you going to attack with it?
Well, The issue here for Geary is that no matter what he attacks with it, Cabal Pit is going to take care of that.
Oh, that's
So
right.
Geary puts the Batter Skull back on top of his deck. He's going to cast it and be in the same predicament that he was just in previously, which is, yeah, you got a Batter Skull, and you can keep having a Batter Skull, but I don't care
Nope.
about it.
Most likely going to see Liliana Edict here, and
Yes.
Jace will keep Fate Sealing.
Kletz says you can keep that, but you're going to have to lose that Germ token, my friend. And he's just going to pass the turn back. So Geary is in what is close to a lock, or as close as you can get to a lock, as he's going to pick up Batter Skull, he's going to recast Batter Skull, and this is his way of trying to fight through a Germ token, or excuse me, fight through Liliana. But again, it's going to be very difficult as Jace the Mind Sculptor is moving up to 13, looking for another die, and there it is. Take a little look-ski poo. Happy to let Justin Geary keep that. Liliana going to bite the dust to take care of the Germ token, and then it's going to replace itself.
Yeah, we saw that second copy of Liliana of the Veil in Michael's hand off of the Vendilion Click.
And now Wasteland taking care of Academy Ruins, so no more shenanigans. Draws a Spell Pierce,
That's
and
it.
Justin Geary is going to concede the game. So Michael Kletz is going to win this match 2-0. Bug Control moves on to 7-0-1. Justin Geary going to take his second loss on the weekend, going to move on to 6-2. And I think some people are going to be interested in that deck tech.